Year in May, Moulton holds a festival, and a very important part of that is the crowning of the May Queen, who is paraded around on a lovely cart decorated with all greenery and flowers and stuff, and that's where you come in, because the May cart is decorated by bowers made by you guys. So as well as playing your part in making the May cart look great, there's also a cash prize for the best bower, judged by the last year's May Queen, and a big bag of sweets for every single entry, so that's got to be worth doing. Now, they're very easy to make. You'll need a couple of wire coat hangers, some scissors, maybe secateurs, something for like cutting flowers with, something to tie the coat hangers together with and tie the flowers onto the thing with, so, you know, string, tape, garden twine, whatever. And you might want to use some bits of ribbon just to make it look pretty, but that's not essential. You'll also need some greenery, so flowers and stuff, and I know it's got flowers in, but trust me, this is for boys and girls as well. So without further ado, let's start making the May bowers.
So you take your two ordinary coat hangers and you pretend to be Robin Hood and bend them, and you just basically keep bending them until they end up approximately round. Like these ones we made earlier. No. So once you've got the round ones, you just pop them together like that, and then you just want to attach them at the top and at the bottom. So I tend to use like garden wire for this, but I guess you could use string or tape or whatever really, and then you end up with like this one we made earlier. This was actually made a lot earlier. I think I've been using this one for about 20 years now, because you can recycle them and pick them up after the end of the parade. So that's what we're going to be basing our bower on. So the next thing you need is a pile of greenery and flowers and stuff. So we've just cut this out of our garden, but you can buy bits and pieces from the garage or whatever. Just make sure if there's any flowers you got your eye on, you ask permission from whoever owns the flower before you just cut it to bits, because they might not be too happy. But the object of the exercise is just to get the flowers and greenery and stuff on the bower, and there's not any particular right or wrong way of doing this. So what I tend to do is pick a bit, for example some ivy, and then just try and sort of wind it on to the bower, like so. So one thing I like to do as well is just take some kind of stick-like bits, and I tend to give the bower a bit more structure by kind of winding these around the circumference and attaching them like that, and it just gives you more to jam flowers in later. So you can see I've hung this up on the whirligig, but there's all sorts of places you can hang it, particularly if you're a bit shorter than me. The back of a chair, door handles, clothes dryer. Get someone really patient to hold it for half an hour or so. Make sure you get a grown-up to help you cutting the flowers, because the secateurs can be pretty sharp. Make sure as well, unless you've got really bad hay fever, to smell the flowers as you go, because a lot of them smell amazing. Although I accept no responsibility if you get your nose bitten off by an earwig whilst smelling the flowers. If you get any sort of straggly looking dead bits like this, you can either yourself, if you're really careful, or an adult to help you with the secateurs, just snip it off. So the best time to make them is probably either on the morning of the festival, on the Saturday, just before the May bower competition, or you can make them when you get home from school on the Friday. Leave them somewhere cool overnight, maybe spray them with water to keep them fresh, and they should look lovely. So I'm going to put some flowers on it now, because it's mainly greenery at the moment. So this is May Blossom. is really good for these because it's out in May and it looks lovely. But the thing to watch out for is these sharp thorns all over it. So one of the other things I tend to do is, if you've got a bit like this where it's just a bit of wire where you've attached on the sort of base bits and you've got some little flowers, if you just poke them through the wire. Oh, come on. There we go. This isn't a very good example because it's only a small amount of flowers, but you can imagine if you had like a big flower and a little stalk and you just jammed it through that, you might need to loosen it off a bit, but it just covers all these bits up and makes it look lovely and flowery. And that's all there is to it really. You just keep poking flowers in until you're happy with it. If you do it the night before, the next morning you might need to put some more flowers in because they tend to droop a bit overnight. Check the Moulton scene for details of where and when the Maybower competition is happening. It's normally in the public gardens at 10 AM. It is this year, 2014, on Festival Saturday, which this year is the 17th of May, but as I said, the details are always in the Moulton scene. Is when we crown the May Queen for this year. All your lovely Maybowers will go up on the May cart to decorate it, so it all looks lovely and flowery. There we are. As the final touch, you can put some ribbons on it. There you go.
One of my favourite bits of the festival is the fancy dress parade, which happens every year just after lunch, and anyone can take part. You get a costume, there's cash prizes for the best costumes, it's really good fun. You follow the May cart around the village, and at the end, when you're done, you can wander around, check out all of the stalls, watch the Morris dancing, and just have a great time. At the end of the procession, the May cart will be stripped of all its greenery and the Maybowers will be left at the top of Pound Lane where the procession starts from, so you can collect them and reuse the frames next year. That is, if you can manage to get out of your costumes.
So as a quick summary then, you're going from 2 coat hangers to 2 coat hangers bent in a circle, to your coat hangers wired together to make the skeleton for your bower, to tie in loads of bits of greenery to it using string or wire or whatever, maybe some ribbon to make a lovely looking Maybower. And you want to check out the Moulton scene for details of where and when the bower competition is, and then turn up, enter your bower, watch the May Queen get crowned, come along to the fancy dress parade, maybe the Ceilidh, and just have a great festival. I'll hopefully see you there. There it is. So this year I'm going as Auntie Mabel from Come Outside.